Raditz is a character massively underutilized in the world of Dragon Ball. He made a brief appearance to let Goku know that his entire being was different from what he thought it was, that he was an alien, a Saiyan in fact, of a warrior race, and that he wasn't a human at all. He also dropped the bombshell that Goku was his brother, his actual name was Kakarot, and then he scooped up Gohan, took him to a different location, and told him to ice a few humans and come back and join him by his side. But him leaving Kame House and going to a remote location had an impact on the story that a lot of us don't realize. With him leaving that area, Bulma was perfectly safe. The threat wasn't immediate. They had time to prepare. But what if that wasn't the case? What if Raditz, right then and there at Kame House, decided to assert his dominance against his little brother, with potential collateral damage with the likes of Bulma and other weaker Dragon Team members being present? It's this question I aim to answer with today's story, the remake of What If Raditz Fought Goku at Kame House, Part 1. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely, and leave a comment below on your thoughts and feelings of this chapter. This is a remake of the first ever video on my channel, the one that started it all, and over the months I have definitely improved my editing and my storytelling skills, so I thought that I would give this another go. I'm not going to be remaking the entire story though, just part 1, and the continuity shall remain the same. Our story begins not with the likes of Raditz, but years before that, at the very end of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. Tien had just had a victory, narrowly beating out Goku, and they were all celebrating as their dojos came together. However, Krillin left the group for a short amount of time, and that was all it took for him to be jumped by the likes of Tambourine, one of the children of the Demon King Piccolo. Goku eventually came across the seemingly lifeless body of his friend Krillin, and he went into a fit of rage, pursuing Tambourine on his own. However, Krillin wasn't actually dead. He was left in a comatose state, one where they all thought that he had perished. But shortly after Goku's departure, it became apparent that Krillin wasn't dead at all. They still had the potential to save his life, and that's exactly what they managed to do. The events carried on as they normally did. He lost against Tambourine, and eventually managed to gain the power to defeat Demon King Piccolo. Years passed. He married Chi-Chi and had a child, Gohan, and one day, when he was a few years old, he decided to take him to Kame House and show him off to the Dragon Team. Goku? Is that a kid you've got there? Who did you steal that from? Inquired Krillin as he was asking the questions that everyone else was wondering. Oh no, this is my kid. Everyone, this is Gohan. Gohan, say hi! Gohan sheepishly hopped out of Goku's arms and introduced himself to everyone. He slowly approached them, although awkwardly. He hadn't really come across many other people in his life. Over at Mount Paozu, he was fairly secluded, so this was quite a new experience to him. They all conversed with each other for a little while, but the reunion was interrupted when they felt a massive power signature approaching. This was something unlike anything they had ever felt, and there was definitely malicious intent behind it. The being revealed himself to be Raditz, and dropped bombshell after bombshell that completely destroyed Goku's preconceived notions of his entire life. Who he even was. What he even was. This was all news to him that threw him out of the loop. He had briefly asserted his dominance over his younger brother as well, punching him in the gut and leaving him on the ground gasping for breath. He picked up Gohan with a smile on his face and told him that he was going to go to another location, and if he wanted Gohan back, he needed to do what he said. However, Krillin wasn't having this. You see, Krillin was a little bit more bold, having realized that if he died here and now, he could be wished back at least once with the Dragon Balls. So, he charged in at Raditz. Now, Krillin wasn't all that strong and wasn't able to really do anything to Raditz, but it was enough time for Goku to compose himself and get back onto his feet. He threw off his shirt in a fit of rage and immediately charged in at Raditz as well. A fight went on between Krillin, Master Roshi, and Goku, and Raditz. All the while, Bulma managed to escape without Raditz choosing to kill her. He didn't perceive her as a threat, and he was too focused on the three of them that were facing him. Gohan was left on the ground, crying. Piccolo had also arrived on the scene. However, he was keeping his distance, staying high up in the sky and seeing how the battle played out. Inevitably, Raditz got the upper hand, and with relative ease. As Master Roshi was knocked unconscious and Krillin was killed in battle, Piccolo decided to jump in. Piccolo's weighted clothes hit the ground just as he entered the battle, and from there, things proceeded on basically as they did in the original. Eventually, Goku put Raditz into a full Nelson and died at the hands of the special beam cannon. The Saiyans heard of the Dragon Balls and exclaimed that they would be arriving in a year, and the training sessions began. However, with Krillin in the afterlife, he went to King Kai's planet alongside Goku. Both of them did fairly well with their training, and when it came to learning the actual techniques, Goku excelled in the likes of Kaioken, whereas Krillin actually found himself to be superior with the Spirit Bomb. Piccolo had decided to take Gohan into the wilderness and train him, while Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu went to Kame's lookout to train as well. The year of training went by a lot quicker than they expected, and when the Saiyans finally arrived, they gathered the Dragon Balls and summoned Shenron to bring back Goku and Krillin. But they didn't quite know how to word the wish. Sure, if it had just been Goku or Krillin that had died, they would just wish one of them alive. So, in typical Dragon Ball fashion, they decided to just wish for everyone that had died in the battle against Raditz to be brought back to life. And, unfortunately, that meant Raditz as well. Raditz was thrust back to the living world and found himself awake right at Kame House where he had died before. He heard voices inside of the building and burst in to see Bulma playing with his scouter. "You blasted woman, give me that!" Raditz exclaimed as he grabbed the scouter away from Bulma and swatted her away. No one else knew what to do. He put the scouter on and saw that the language on it had been changed to something he didn't recognize. However, those power signatures were still unmistakable. It was definitely Nappa and Vegeta. He immediately started heading at the direction of where they were at. He arrived to see some of the humans there along with that Namekian that had fought him and Kakarot's son, and they were all facing against Vegeta and Nappa, who were about to fight. Vegeta looked at Raditz with disgust, perceiving him appearing here to mean that he had actually been in hiding and faked his death the entire time. "Raditz, I thought a lot of you, but a deserter wasn't one of them. You should have stayed hiding in the midst of these humans over here. Now I'm going to have to kill you with the rest of them." Raditz and Vegeta had always had a troubled past, with Vegeta constantly looking down on him. He definitely felt like Vegeta was always looking for a reason to kill him, and he finally found it. There was no arguing with him, no trying to explain his way out of this. His only hope was to side against Vegeta and Nappa and join the Dragon Team in waiting for Kakarot to show up. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. My storytelling skills have definitely changed a lot over the last several months. However, since this is a remake, that means you don't have to wait for part 2. It's right over here. Go check that out for me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.